Let's talk about one of the most exciting and frankly chaotic new frontiers in the fight against cancer. It's called T-Cell Receptor therapy, or TCR therapy for short. It really has the potential to change everything we know about treatment. But with so much happening all at once, how do you even begin to find the right path forward?
Right. Imagine for a second you're a pharmaceutical company. You see this incredible new field, but the landscape is just a mess. It's crowded, it's confusing. So you're facing this massive question. In a field with hundreds of new possibilities, where do you place your bets? How do you find the one therapy that's actually going to save lives?
Okay, so what is TCR therapy? At its heart, it's a brilliant form of immunotherapy. You basically take a patient's own T cells, the soldiers of their immune system, and you genetically engineer them to become expert cancer hunters. What's so exciting is that this method has the potential to go after a much wider range of tumors, especially solid tumors, which have always been a really, really tough nut to crack. But here's the problem. This amazing new frontier, it's also a chaotic jungle of information. And for the companies trying to develop these cures, trying to navigate it is almost impossible without a map. The whole landscape was this dizzying mix of information. You've got collaborations, constantly changing clinical trials, complex funding rounds, and even therapies that just seem to disappear. For the company at the center of our story, it was a total overload of data, making it incredibly hard to see any clear path forward.
So, to make sense of it all, they had some big, critical questions they needed answers to. Like, which of these therapies are actually going somewhere? What's their real potential? Who are the true leaders, the people really pushing the envelope here? And maybe most importantly, what can we learn from all the projects that already failed? And this wasn't just some minor inconvenience. The source material puts it really plainly. The company was seriously struggling to track and evaluate this expanding, complex portfolio. This was a massive strategic roadblock. So, how do you cut through that kind of chaos? Well, you stop guessing and you start investigating. It was time to bring in the detectives and crack the code. And they did it with this really smart four-step investigation. First up, a deep dive into all the pipeline activity. Second, a really rigorous evaluation of the clinical trials. Third, you've got to profile the key players, the companies and their partners. And finally, bring in the expert analyst to connect all the dots. Step one was basically a huge intelligence gathering operation. Analysts turned into detectives, scouring everything from private databases and clinical trial registries to the latest scientific papers, all to map out every single active TCR therapy they could find. Then came step two, which was all about results. It's one thing to know a trial is happening, it's another to know if it's working. They had to dig into trial design, patient outcomes, everything, to figure out what was actually effective in the real world, and just as critically, what wasn't. And after all that digging, the fog finally started to lift. The investigation gave them this incredible, clear, bird's-eye view of the entire TCR landscape, revealing its true shape for the very first time. And what they found was pretty stunning. They uncovered over 75 active TCR candidates. Now think about that. This wasn't just a few promising therapies. This was a vast ecosystem of innovation that had been hidden by all the noise. A number that high signifies a field that's hit critical mass. It's a competitive gold rush. But it wasn't just about finding the winners. Understanding failure was just as crucial. By analyzing why other therapies had gone dormant, maybe due to safety concerns or a lack of good results or manufacturing hurdles, they could avoid making those same costly mistakes. And from this comprehensive view, these huge strategic trends started to emerge. The pipeline of therapies was expanding, fast. Crucial new partnerships were forming around advanced manufacturing. Researchers were exploring powerful new combination therapies. And the big one, the potential to finally effectively treat solid tumors, was becoming a reality. So, with this clear map in hand, the company could finally shift gears. They went from just reacting to the market to proactively shaping their own destiny. It was time to forge a winning strategy, one built on data, not guesswork. And that transformation was dramatic. Look at this before and after. Before, their strategy was reactive, risky. After, it became proactive and focused. They went from high investment risk to mitigated, informed risk. From missing opportunities to identifying high-value partnerships. It was a complete strategic turnaround.
This new clarity basically gave them superpowers. They can now prioritize the most promising drug candidates, confidently identify the best partners to work with, anticipate what their competitors might do next, and build specific strategies to get these therapies to patients. It put them in the driver's seat.
But look, this isn't just a story about one company's strategy. This kind of work, bringing clarity to a complex field like cancer research, it accelerates progress for everyone. It makes sure that the money, the talent, and the energy are all directed toward the path most likely to lead to a cure.
Because, as the source material concludes, TCR therapies really are a transformative frontier. We're talking about treatments that could address tumors that other medicines can't touch. Getting this right reshapes how we fight cancer and offers new hope to millions of people. Which leaves us with one final, crucial question. A map to a new world of cancer treatment has been drawn. The paths are clear, the dead ends are marked. The real race can finally begin. So, who's going to be the first to reach the cure?